Everyone, it's Justine the Twilight Stamper, and I'm super excited to share with you a new technique that I tried out today. I'm going to be featuring stamping on acetate and embossing on acetate. So I'm going to be using my Misty and this Peony Garden background stamp from Latin, and I'm going to ink it up using Versamark ink. I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch acetate already on my stamping part of the Misty. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see that plastic there to the left. I'm going to be stamping down the garden stamp onto the acetate and pushing down firmly, not really hard, I don't want to break my Misty, but pushing down firmly enough so that the background is nicely evenly stamped onto the acetate. I'm going to lift this up and peel it off of my background here, or off of the background stamp. And I'm going to be very, very careful not to touch it too much with my fingers. One, I don't want to disturb the Versamark ink, and two, I don't want to get any fingerprints where the embossing powder is going to stick to. So I'm just going to grab some embossing powder, and now you're going to be able to see my stamped image on the acetate. I'm not sure how normal acetate or transparency sheets or plastic will hold up to heat. This is specifically designed for it to be heat resistant. Not sure if all of them are designed to be heat resistant, but I'll link below in the description as well as on my blog as to where I got the acetate from, as well as a direct link to see where you can purchase that from if you're interested in trying out this technique for yourself. Now that that's all finished, I'm going to give it a flick on the back here so any excess powder falls off. How great does that look? I think it looks amazing. Now I'm just going to go in with my heat gun and I'm going to put you in fast mode as you watch me heat emboss this image. Next up, I'm going to make my background. I'm going to be going in with tea dye ink in large circular motion, starting off of the craft mat as best as I could there, and then going towards the back. I'm not too concerned about the lines that I have here that I accidentally made with my sponge because I'm going to be covering it with the acetate anyway. So I'm just going to go in and create a nice background. I wanted to create a dark piece in the corner that went lighter towards the corner and the other diagonally across. So I'm going to go back in with Tattered Rose over top of the tea dye and spread out a little bit of the pink. It may not look that great right now, but with the acetate over top, it looks fantastic. Now I'm just going to place the acetate down so you can see what I mean and how it's probably going to look like. Next up, I'm going to do a bit of die cutting. I'm going to grab my die cutting machine and I'm going to run my pierced banner die through the machine. This is from Create a Smile Stamps, this die. And I really like it because it gives it a really nice impression and it gives it really, those little dots are really cute when adding your sentiment. It gives it just a little extra than just a plain banner. I wanted to make a thank you stamp, so I put this pierced banner onto my Misty and attached it with my magnet. I'm going to use this thank you stamp here to stamp that. So I picked it up and I inked up using the tea dye ink, the thank, and then I'm going to go and put the U underneath. So I get to see here exactly what I want to do with it. The Misty allows me to place it exactly where I need it to be. Now that that's all finished, I'm just going to start to put my card all together. I'm making a top folding card that measures 11 by 4 1/4 inches and it was scored at 5.5 on the long side. I then folded it over to make a top folding card. I grabbed my background that I inked up earlier and I'm going to be placing that in the center of the card. The acetate has already been attached. I used regular Tombow Mono liquid adhesive and I made sure to glue only under the solid flowers. I put one sort of blob of glue in the bottom right hand corner that I'm going to cover anyway with the sentiment. That was originally my plan. It allows the acetate to sit nicely onto the card without it being covered in glue spots. The last thing I wanted to do was add a couple of embellishments. I wanted to add some sequins, so I took some lily white sequins from Doodlebug. I put a bit of Tombow monoliquid adhesive onto a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to be using the Pick Me Up tool here to pick up individual sequins, dunk them in a bit of glue, and attach them to my card. Now I have to say, to put on sequins, I absolutely love this Pick Me Up tool. It arranges small embellishments. I pick them up. There's like a little piece of gum on the end almost like, and then you can pick it up and use the other tool to hold it down while you lift up the sticky part. It makes it for really great precision, and I really like the way that it works, and I can't say enough good things about it, but it did take a little bit of practice to get the hang of it. I was thinking about adding some thread to the card, but then I decided that I didn't have one to match. I really wanted white thread, but I unfortunately don't have any. So I glued my sentiment back on here, and I made sure that it was nice and it fit nicely on there. So that was the end of today's card tutorial. I hope you'll give heat embossing with acetate a try. Your background stamps will make it look absolutely amazing with the white embossing powder. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, all the links to the stores that the products that I used are in the description as well as on my blog. Thanks a lot.